Hello, dear DSC candidates. Welcome back to my Grammar for Success channel. I'm Koresh Babu, a retired lecturer in English from Hyderabad. In this video, I'm going to explain the bilingual method, one of the key methods of teaching. I therefore request all of you to watch this video till the end without skipping it in the middle. I also request all of you to consider subscribing to my channel and also sharing this video with all your friends who are also going to take the DSC examination along with you very shortly. Thank you so much. Now let's get into the video. The bilingual method, a detailed account. That means in this video, I'm going to give you some detailed information about this bilingual method. All the points about this bilingual method I'm going to cover in this video. Please watch it very carefully, right? And some introductory points are given here. Introduction. What is the introduction about the bilingual method? The bilingual method is a language teaching method. Of course, this bilingual method is a language teaching method. See, all the matter is written in a simple, easy and understanding way. So you can also read this matter and understand it. So in that simple manner, I have written all the important aspects of this bilingual method. So here I am just explaining certain important things, not all the things. So here you pay attention. The bilingual method is a language teaching method that incorporates both the native language, that is L1, and the target language, that is L2. So in this bilingual method, two languages are incorporated. Two languages are used. What are they? Native language, that is L1. Native language is always called L1 and the target language is always called the L2. So I shall be using these abbreviations occasionally. So please try to understand that whatever may be your native language. So for example, now your native language is Telugu. So for you, L1 is your native language. But for some others, L1 may be Hindi, L1 may be Tamil, L1 may be Kannada, L1 may be Marathi. So in this way, L1 may be differing from place to place, whereas the target language is only English. Okay, because all the people are trying to learn only the English language. So here L1 means the native language, L2 is the target language, and in this bilingual method, these two languages are incorporated. These two languages are made use of in this bilingual method in the classroom. Okay, and here it was developed by C.J. Dodson. It was developed means it was advocated by C.J. Dodson in the 1960s as a reaction to the shortcomings of the direct method and grammar translation method. You know very well, in the direct method there are some shortcomings, there are some disadvantages, and in the grammar translation method also there are some disadvantages. So covering these disadvantages of these two methods, this C.J. Dodson has developed this method, that is the bilingual method. Very simple, very easy, right? You move on to the third point. What is that? This method aims to make learning more efficient by strategically using the native language for explanations and the target language for speaking practice. So in this method, what happens now? The teachers will make learning more efficient by making use of the native language for explanation of some grammar points, for vocabulary things, for sentences and all that, and at the same time the target language is used for speaking practice. For the development of spoken English skills, they make use of the target language. For explanations, they make use of the native language. So this is the point you have to learn in this bilingual method. So this bilingual method is a very beautiful method because it makes use of the native language of the students for explanation of various things, and it also makes use of the target language for practicing spoken skills and all that. Okay, right. Now you move on to learn about other things. So key principles of the bilingual method. What are the key principles? Key principles means already I have told you that they are nothing but key characteristics, very important features of the bilingual method. Okay, what are the key principles of this bilingual method? So first one is controlled use of the native language, that is L1. Whatever may be your native language, that native language is used in a controlled manner. Okay, not excessively but in a controlled way. And you go to the next point. The native language is used to explain meaning and clarify difficult concepts, but not for conversation practice. You know, this native language L1 is there. This L1 is used only to explain the meaning of certain concepts, and it is also used to clarify certain difficult concepts. So for these two purposes, this native language is used, but it is not used for conversation practice. Okay, it is not used for conversation practice. And you move on to the next one, emphasis on speaking in the target language, that is L2. So emphasis is laid on speaking only in the target language. How? Let us see that students practice speaking in L2. So in this method, students are encouraged to practice speaking only in L2, in the target language, from the beginning, with no translation during conversational activities, and no translation at all during conversational activities. So they are encouraged to practice speaking in L2 from the beginning, and they are also not allowed to use this native language in their translations. Okay, and during conversation activities. So that is that. And you go to the third main feature of the bilingual method is sentence based learning. So sentence based, that means in this method only words are not taught, but the sentences are taught. That is the style of teaching in this bilingual method. So that's why it is there, sentence based learning. Sentences together, the language is taught. Okay, so instead of focusing on isolated words, simply teaching the students only the isolated words or separate words and all that, no, the method teaches complete sentences to provide context and structure. So in this method, the teachers teach the students complete sentences using the words in the context. Okay, precious is there. In the earlier videos I have taken this example, precious is there. So in this method, what happens now, they don't simply give you the meaning of the word precious. Precious means valuable, that much only they don't say, but they make use of that word in the sentences, and they will explain the sentences to the students. Yes, diamonds are precious, gold is a precious metal, time is precious. In this way, they make use of that word in various sentences, and they make the students learn those sentences. That is the specialty of this bilingual method. Okay, and now you move on to learn some more important things about the key principles of this bilingual method. Next feature of the bilingual method is grammar is taught indirectly. Okay, grammar is not taught directly but indirectly. How? Let us see that here. Grammar is not explicitly explained. Explicitly means directly explained, but it is taught through example sentences and practice. That is very important. And grammar is taught to the students only through example sentences, and later on those sentences are practiced by the students. So this is really a wonderful feature of this bilingual method. And next feature of this bilingual method is step-by-step progression. So the teaching will take place in a systematic order. How? Let us see that here. Lessons move from listening to speaking, speaking to reading, then writing. So this is the order, ensuring gradual learning. So this will ensure their easy learning. This will ensure the students gradual learning, because first of all they make the students listen to the lesson, then they make the students speak something about the lesson, then they are made to read that, then they are made to write. So first of all, the teachers make the students listen to the story, then speak about the story, then read about the story, and write about the story. Through this method, the teachers teach the lessons in this order. The students are made to listen to the lessons, speak about the lessons, read the lessons, write the lessons. So in this way, listening, speaking, reading, writing will take place step by step in this bilingual method, and that ensures the gradual learning of the students. Okay, that is there. And you go to the next important point about this is teachers play key role. Teachers play a key role. What is the key role? Here you pay attention. The teachers must be fluent in both L1 and L1. So the teachers must be proficient in both L1 and L2. Otherwise, they cannot teach the students in this bilingual method, because the teachers are expected to be proficient in the L1. and they are also expected to proficient in the L2. So in this way, in the native language as well as in the target language, the teachers are expected to be fluent, they are expected to be good at, they are expected to be proficient and using the native language strategically without over relying on it. And here the teachers must take every care not to use this native language over much in the classroom. So they must maintain some control over the use of the native language. That means the teachers are expected not to use more native language in the class, but they are expected to use more target language. Less native language, more target language, but not more native language and less target language. That should not be the way. So therefore, the teachers play a key role in the teaching of this method, in adopting this bilingual method successfully, right? Now let's move on to learn other important things. Classroom techniques and activities in the bilingual method. What are the techniques and activities taken up in the bilingual method classroom means? Let us look at this. Okay, sentence based learning is there. Sentence based learning means what? So in this method, the teachers will see that the students learned the target language through sentences only, not through isolated words and all that. How? Let us see that here. The teacher introduces new sentence. Okay, the teacher introduces a new sentence in the target language and provides its native language equivalent also. That means, the target language sentence is given and native language meaning is also given. Well, I would like to give an example. L2 is our L2 is English. You know that very well. I am going to college. Okay, and what is the L2 meaning? Okay, so Hindi L2. If there are Hindi speaking students, their mother tongue is Hindi, their native language is Hindi. Therefore, Hindi for some people it is the native language. For Hindi speaking people, L1 is Hindi. Okay, my school ja raha hoon. The meaning of this English sentence is given in the native language. That is L1. L1 of the Hindi speaking people is like this. My school ja raha hoon. So L1 of Telugu people, Telugu L1 is also there. Nenu school ku veltu unnanu. So in this way, one English sentence is given and its meaning in the native language is also given side by side. Then the students can learn these two things very easily. Oh, I am going to school means nenu school ku veltu unnanu. Oh, they can understand. In this way, they learn sentences together. In the target languages, they learn so many sentences. That's why their learning is called sentence based learning, not word based learning, but it is the sentence based learning. In this way, the teacher will give so many sentences. So like this, here he says, he is a doctor. Simple. Atadu oka doctor, waha ek doctor hai. So whatever may be the L1 language. So, atadu oka doctor. Yes, she is a teacher. Aame oka teacher. If an English sentence is given like this and side by side Telugu meaning is given, what happens? The students can learn that target language easily and successfully and very fast. So if you just look at this, what happens now? You can remember some years ago there came into the market some Rapidix book. Rapidix book means English sentence will be there, under that Telugu meaning will be there. He is playing cricket. Atadu cricket ఆడుతూ ఉన్నాడు. Like that, all this. I have written a letter. నేను ఒక లెటర్ రాసి ఉన్నాను. Something like that. Yes, she has broken the chair. ఆమె ఒక చైర్ ను విరగొట్టి ఉన్నది. Something like that. Yes, she lost her purse. ఆమె తన పర్సును పోరగొట్టుకొని ఉంది. So many sentences are given. Every day you have to learn 25 sentences or 30 sentences. That will be the program exercise. So if you keep on learning those things, you can easily understand the target language. So in this way, if you look at this, you can remember that Rapidix book also. I think even today also it is available in the market. English under that Telugu meaning. So this is therefore called sentence based learning. Right, and you move on to the next important thing. The student understands the meaning. Okay, if the Telugu meaning is given, For the English sentence, he can understand the meaning of it and practices saying it in L2 only. And after understanding the Telugu meaning of this English sentence, he will practice only the English sentence. I am going to college. నేను కాలేజ్ వెళ్తున్నా. And he will understand the meaning of this. Then he stops learning this and he only practices. I am going to school. I am going to school. I am going to school. He is a doctor. She is a teacher. And understanding the English sentence in Telugu is okay. But practicing that sentence only in English, in the L2 only. So that is the great advantage of this bilingual method. Now you move on to other things. Listening and repetition. This is also a beautiful technique adopted by the teachers in the bilingual method classroom. Okay, the teacher says a sentence in L2, students listen and repeat it. That's really interesting. They are charts. The teacher says they are our charts. The Telugu meaning is also explained to the students. Avi pandla totalu, something like. Now the students will listen to this sentence. They are our charts. They are our charts. The students will listen to that sentence and they will repeat it. Yes, we are Indians. Okay, we are Indians. The students will listen to the sentence and then they will repeat that sentence. They will practice that sentence, listening and repeating. This will take place in the bilingual method classroom, right? And here L1 is used only when necessary for explanation. And this L1 native language is used only to understand the meaning of this L2 sentence. That is sparingly used only whenever it is necessary. We are Indians. They can easily understand. No need of translation into Telugu. And they are orchards. Of course, you need some translation. Avi pandla totalu. Orchards means the students may not understand. Then the teacher will explain this sentence in Telugu and they will understand the Telugu meaning, but they will practice it only in English. That is there, right? And you move on to the next important activity of the bilingual method classroom. Question answer drills are there. Question answer drills. What are the question answer drills? The teacher asks questions in L2 and students respond in L2 and full sentences. That is there. The teacher asks questions in L2. That is the target language. The students will also respond in L2 in the same target language, but full sentences, using full sentences. How? Let us see that here. Example is given here. What is that? Where are you going? The teacher asks this question, where are you going? Then what do the what students say? The students say, I am going to college, I am going to school. Who are you? Who are you? The teacher asks a question. I am Mohan. Then the teacher asks, what are you? I am a student. When somebody asks you this question, you must tell him or her your name. When somebody asks you this question, you must tell him or her your profession or what you are. What are you? I am a student. What are you? I am a homemaker. What are you? I am a doctor. I am a government employee. Okay. In this way, the teacher will be asking the students some questions in L2. The students will answer or respond to them only in L2. L2, L2. That's very interesting. This is yet another important classroom activity, bilingual method classroom activity, right? And now you move on to learn other important things. Substitution drills are there. Substitution drills are also very important. This is also a very wonderful activity taken up by the teachers in the bilingual method classroom. What is this substitution drills? Students replace words in a sentence while maintaining its structure. They maintain the structure, but they keep on changing the words in that particular sentence. How? Let me give you one example to make you understand. Example is given. What is that original sentence? I am going to school. So the school, to school is the word to be replaced by other words. I am going to school. That is there. And each student, the substitution is I am going to the market. I am going to hospital. I am going to market. I am going to a hotel. I am going to the railway station. See, you are keeping this structure as it is. and you are keeping on changing only the words. I am going to hospital, I am going to market, I am going to a hotel, I am going to the railway station, I am going to school, I am going to college, I am going to my friend's home. In this way, you can make so many sentences like this. It will be a kind of beautiful practice, and this practice is called substitution drills. Okay, substitution drills. Right. Go to the next one, gradual reduction of native language use. So in this bilingual method classroom, the teachers gradually decrease the use of native language and increase gradually the use of the target language. So that is really a wonderful thing, gradual reduction of native language. So here over time means over the period of time, L1 usage decreases and students become comfortable with L2 only. So gradually L1, the use of L1 will decrease considerably, and the use of L2 only will increase more, and the students will feel very comfortable with L2 only. రాను రాను తెలుగు తగ్గించేస్తారు, ఇక ఇంగ్లీషే ఎక్కువ వాడడం వల్ల పిల్లలు ఇంగ్లీష్తో కంఫర్టబుల్గా ఫీల్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంటారు. సో దిస్ రియలీ వండర్ఫుల్ మెథడ్, రైట్? అండ్ యూ మూవ్ ఆన్ టు అదర్ థింగ్స్. వాట్ ఆర్ ద అడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఆఫ్ ద bilingual method? So here, speeds up understanding. Okay, using L1 strategically helps students quickly grasp new words and concepts. Yes, in this bilingual method classroom, since the teachers make use of this L1 very strategically, that means very carefully, okay, according to some plan, that helps the students learn quickly some new words and new concepts. So that's why the students can easily grasp the new words and new concepts of the target language. So in that way, they can learn that target language very fast. They can learn the target language very quickly. And you move on to the next one, encourage speaking from day one. So in this bilingual method, the students are encouraged to speak only in the target language from day one. That means from the beginning. How? Let the students actively use the target language instead of passively memorizing. So here in this bilingual method, the students make use of this target language right from the day one, and they stop using their mother tongue as far as possible. So in this way, the teachers encourage them to make use of only the target language in the school premises, in the classroom. So that is there, right? And here, more effective than purely monolingual methods. So this bilingual method is more effective than this purely monolingual method. Monolingual method means one lingual method. Single lingual method. Single lingual method means direct method is there. In that direct method, only one language is used. The target language is used both for explanation of things and for practicing the things, and for all things, only the target language is used in the direct method. So that's why that's called the monolingual method, single language method. Okay, right? And here this bilingual method is more effective than this single language method, like the direct method. And here, so unlike the direct method in which only one language is used, that is the target language, both for explanation, both for practice, both for speech, for everything, only one language is used in the direct method. See, so unlike this direct method, in this bilingual method, what happens now? Students do not struggle with difficult words because L1 helps with the meaning. So students don't suffer when they want to learn new words and new concepts, because there is the help of the L1 for them by the teachers. The teachers will give them the support of the L1, and therefore the students can understand the meanings of the new words and difficult concepts and everything in their native language, and therefore that will be a great advantage for the learners of this target language. So in that way, they can find it very easy and interesting. Learning the meanings in the target language, learning the explanation in target language, learning everything in the target language means, in the direct method, the students have felt very difficult in understanding new words and new concepts. But here it is not so. If the students cannot understand some difficult word or difficult concept, the teacher is there ready to help them in their native language. That's why with the help of the native language, they can understand the meaning of the word in the target language. That advantage is there in this bilingual method. Now you move on to learn other important things of this bilingual method. Natural way of learning. So this bilingual method is a natural way of learning. How? Just like in real life, students hear both native and target languages, making learning smoother. So in this bilingual method classroom, the students will learn two languages side by side. For understanding some important things, for understanding some difficult things and difficult concepts, they make use of this Telugu, their mother tongue, their native language. And for learning English, the target language, they make use of the target language. So in that way, they make use of L1, okay, and they make use of L2 at the same time in this classroom. So it is really very beautiful, very easy for them to learn new things and all that. They can pick up the target language very easily, right? Works well for large classes. So this bilingual method works wonderfully well for the large classes. Say the direct method is there. It doesn't work for the large classes. And the grammar translation method is also there. It doesn't work for the large classes. But here this bilingual method is there. It works for the large classes in which there are more than 70, 80, 90, 100 students. Okay, right. And here you pay attention. Since L1 is used only for explanation, right from the beginning, I have been telling you that this L1 is used only for explanation of new words, new concepts. The method is time efficient for teachers. That's why, the teachers could not feel any kind of difficulty in explaining the things in the target language itself. They could explain the meaning of that concept, the meaning of that word, even in their native language. That's why the students will understand the meaning of that word in their native language, and they can pick up this target language very quickly. So that's why this works well for large classes, right? And here another advantage is there. Grammar is learned in context. Just now I have given you one example with regard to this precious. So precious is there. So this is a beautiful word. Precious means the teachers in this method don't simply say precious means valuable, precious ante viluvaina. They don't simply give you the meaning of that word, but they make use of that word in the sentences. That's very important. Some dictionaries are there just to give you the meaning of the word. But some dictionaries are there. They make use of that word in sentences. Webster's dictionary is there. Oxford dictionary is there. In those dictionaries, only the meanings of the words are not given in those dictionaries, but they make use of the words according to their meaning. Example sentence are given. Chambers dictionary is there. Beautiful examples are given. Simple examples, easy examples are given. So you can easily understand. So in that way, you can learn a new vocabulary through the contextual sentences. Two precious is there. Yes, gold is a precious metal. Precious metal. So here, this precious is used in the form of a sentence. So that students can easily understand, oh, precious means valuable. Precious metal means valuable metal. So in this way, this grammar is learned in context, and the vocabulary is also learned in context. Everything is learned in context, and therefore in this method, the students can pick up the L2 very easily, very successfully, and all that. And here you pay attention. No need for boring grammar drills. No need of grammar drills at all. That okay, students learn through meaningful sentences. Okay, meaningful sentences are framed, and the students will learn grammar or vocabulary only through meaningful sentences, right? You move on to other important things. Disadvantages of the bilingual method. What are the disadvantages of this bilingual method? Let us have a glance at them. Requires skilled teachers. This is the first disadvantage. This method requires skilled class teachers. Unless and until the teachers are highly skilled, this bilingual method cannot be successfully adopted in the classroom. Okay, how? Let us see that here. Teachers must be fluent in both L1 and L2. Already I have dealt with this point. The teachers who adopt this bilingual method in their classrooms must be proficient not only in L1 but also in L2. In this way, they are expected to be fluent in these two languages, which is not always possible. Generally, this is not possible. Most of the teachers may be proficient in L1, but they may not be proficient in L2. Some teachers may be proficient in L2, but they may not be proficient in L1. So, either way it may be so. That's why this is just not possible. This is one disadvantage of this method, and risk of overusing the native language. In this bilingual method classroom, there is every danger of using more native language than the target language. There is every danger of that, because generally the teachers will be well versed in their mother tongue, in their native language, so they make more use of that native language than the target language. The danger is there sometimes, of course, not always. Sometimes some teachers might use only the native language in the classroom. The danger is there. So if the teacher relies too much on L1, students may not practice L2 enough. So if the teachers teach the students only in L1 more and more, then the students may not become perfect in L2. They may not pick up L2 very easily, very successfully and all that. So that's why that danger is there. That is the second disadvantage of this bilingual method. Not ideal for multilingual classrooms. So this bilingual method is not advantageous or not ideal for multilingual classrooms. So don't think that there are monolingual students in the classroom. Sometimes there may be multilingual students. Multilingual means students speaking Urdu, students speaking Telugu, students speaking Marathi, students speaking Hindi. So in this way, when all these students come together, that classroom is called multilingual classroom. So in the multilingual classroom, what happens? This method cannot be adopted successfully. If there are monolingual students in that classroom, the teacher can teach this target language very easily by making use of the L1 of the students. That is okay. But if there are Hindi speaking students, Marathi speaking students, Urdu speaking students, so which L1 do you want to take up in the classroom? That's why what happens, it will be very difficult for the teachers to take up this bilingual method in that classroom in which there are multilingual students. Right? And the same point is dealt with if students speak different native languages. ఒక లాంగ్వేజ్ ఉంటే ఒక లాంగ్వేజ్ మెయింటైన్ చేయొచ్చు, కానీ 4 డిఫరెంట్ నేటివ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ ఉంటే హౌ కెన్ యూ మేనేజ్ విత్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్? So that's really difficult. Using L1 becomes difficult. Then using L1, whose L1 do you want to use in the class? Do you want to use Hindi? Do you want to use Tamil? Do you want to use Telugu? Which L1 of the students do you want to use in the classroom? So that becomes very difficult for the teachers, and therefore it is not adaptable in the multilingual classrooms. This is yet another important disadvantage of the bilingual method. Now you move on to other things. Does not fully develop writing skills. So this bilingual method does not make the students become proficient in writing skills, because it gives a top priority only to speaking skills, right? Since speaking is the primary focus, okay, this is bilingual method gives a top priority only to speaking skills and not for writing skills, and therefore writing practice is limited. There will be a limited writing practice will be given to the students. So the students will not become perfect in writing skills. Maybe they become perfect only in speaking skills and all that, right? And here, that is the last disadvantage of this bilingual method. Now you move on to the next important aspect, that is modern adaptations of the bilingual method. So this bilingual method, yes, the features of this bilingual method are adopted even by other methods also for their existence and all that. So what are the methods that have adopted some of the features of the bilingual method? Means here, dual language programs. Schools offer bilingual education, balancing L1 and L2. Dual language programs. So they have adopted this bilingual method. In schools that offer bilingual education, that means in their mother tongue as well as in the target language. So bilingual education is there. So balancing L1 and L2 use. So dual language programs have adopted the bilingual method features. Okay, and you go to the next one, technology integration. This also adopted some of the features of the bilingual method. Apps like Duolingo, and Google Translate follow a bilingual approach for learning. Okay, it is there. And here next one, blended learning is there. So schools mix bilingual method with communicative language teaching, CLT. So these two methods are mixed together for better results. Okay, in this way, this bilingual method is being made use of by other methods also for their existence and for their continuation. And now you move on to other things. Conclusion is there. Okay, bilingual method is an effective middle ground between translation heavy methods like translation, grammar translation method, and monolingual methods like the direct method. So here this GTM and this direct method DM is there. So this bilingual method, okay, bilingual method BM is in between these two. GTM on one side, direct method on one side, and this method is in between these two. So it is an effective middle ground. That means from the features of the GTM, from the features of this direct method, what happened? This bilingual method has come into existence. This is really a successful method which can be adopted by the teachers in their schools and in their classrooms and all that. Okay, and here this makes learning faster and easier. Okay, by allowing limited native language, this grammar translation makes the learning of that target language faster and easier, and by making use of native language very sparingly means in a limited manner. Okay, and while keeping the focus on speaking and listening skills. So this bilingual method also helps keep focus on speaking skills and listening skills of the target language. So on the whole, this bilingual method makes learning of the L2 target language faster and easier. Right, you go to the next point. However, its success depends on the teacher's ability. Whatever it is, whether this method is the grammar translation method or the direct method or this bilingual method, the success of the method depends largely on the teacher that adopts that method. Because if the teacher is proficient in that target language and in that method, then the adaptation of that method becomes successful. Otherwise, that becomes a failure in the classroom and all that. And balancing L1 and L2 use without over relying on translation. So the teacher must not rely too much on the native language. Instead of relying too much on the L1, the teacher must teach the target language to the students. Then what happens? This method will yield successful results in the classroom, right? And therefore, the success of this grammar translation method adopted in the classroom depends largely on the teacher's ability. And here the last point is, when used correctly, if this bilingual method is used correctly, the bilingual method can help students develop strong conversational skills. So this bilingual method develops what? Strong conversational skills in the target language while understanding grammar and vocabulary naturally, making the students learn grammar and vocabulary naturally. So this is all about this bilingual method. And now let us move on to solve a small exercise based on all these important aspects so far I have taught you. Please solve the exercise without fail so that you can check up your comprehension, whether you have understood this topic thoroughly well or not. Okay, just 20 questions I have given you. Please try to answer all of them. Now, let us move on to solve the exercise. Multiple choice questions on the bilingual method from the examination perspective. That means these multiple choice questions are framed from your examination perspective. So what are the questions given here? Let us look at them. General understanding of the bilingual method. So I'm going to pose 5 questions based on the general understanding of the bilingual method. Already I have dealt with the general aspects of this bilingual method. So basing on that general aspects of bilingual method, these 5 questions are going to be posed for you. Okay, and what is the first question? Who developed the bilingual method? Very simple, very easy. Okay, and what are the options given here? Stephen Krashen, Charles Fries, C.J. Dodson, Noam Chomsky. Okay, see, these are the four options given under this question. Here it is very easy, but in the examination you might get confused a little bit because you will be already in some kind of tension or some kind of confused state and all that. Okay, but here this question is very easy for you. You can easily tick the right one. Now you move on to other questions, right? What is the main focus of the bilingual method? You know, the main focus of the bilingual method. Here are the four options given: memorization of vocabulary lists, teaching grammar through translation, speaking and understanding in the target language, writing complex essays. So these are the four options. Now you move on to the third question. How does the bilingual method differ from the grammar translation method? You know that very well. And in the video I have dealt with this point also very clearly. You have learned that. Now you can easily tick the right option. It focuses more on translation than speaking. It emphasizes speaking in the target language rather than written exercises. It discourages the use of the native language completely. It does not allow the use of grammar in teaching. So these are the four options. You know the right one. Now let's move on to other questions. Fourth question, what is the role of the native language L1 in the bilingual method? Okay. Options are: it is completely avoided in the classroom, it is used only for translation exercises, it is used for explanations but not for conversation practice, it is used equally with the target language. Okay, target language is L2 language, you know very well. Our native language is the L1 language. Okay, right. And you go to the next one. In fifth question, in which area is the bilingual method most effective? Options are: developing reading comprehension, improving speaking and listening skills, enhancing translation abilities, strengthening writing skills. So these are the options. Okay, now you move on to other questions. Classroom techniques and teaching approach. Basing on this topic also, some questions are posed here. You can easily answer them. Okay, sixth question. Which of the following techniques is most commonly used in the bilingual method? Direct translation of sentences, repetition and question answer drills, memorization of grammatical rules, dictation and written exercises. So these are the options. You go to the next question. What is the typical progression of skills in the bilingual method? Typical progression. One after another. What is the progression in the bilingual method means? Here the options are: speaking, reading, writing, listening. Listening, speaking, reading, writing. Writing, speaking, listening, reading. Grammar, reading, writing, speaking. So what is the correct progression of skills that are maintained in the bilingual method? You know that very well in the video. Therefore, you can easily tick the right one. Now you move on to other questions. Eighth question. How is grammar taught in the bilingual method? Through explicit grammar rules and translation, through practical sentence usage and examples, by memorizing conjugations and syntax rules, through complex written exercises. Okay, you go to the ninth question. In the bilingual method, vocabulary is learned by. How is the vocabulary learned in this bilingual method? So the options are given here: directly translating words from the native language, memorizing vocabulary lists, learning new words in meaningful sentences, avoiding the use of the native language. You know the correct one. You can choose the correct one. Now you move on to other questions. 10th question. Which of the following best describes the teacher's role in the bilingual method? What is the role of the teacher in this bilingual method? You know that very well. Come on, let us look at the options given here. A facilitator who encourages speaking in the target language, a strict instructor who focuses on translation, a passive observer who allows students to teach themselves, a grammar expert who gives detailed grammar explanations. What is the role of the teacher in this bilingual method in teaching grammar and all that? So you can easily choose the right option because already you have learnt about it in the video, right? You move on to the 11th question. Comparison with other methods. So basing on this topic also, I have posed some questions and you can easily answer them. 11th question. How does the bilingual method differ from the direct method? In this bilingual method, you can use both the native language and the target language. So that is the bilingual method. In the direct method, only the target language is used in the classroom activities and all that. So how does the bilingual method differ from the direct method? So that is a question. And what are the options given here? So the bilingual method does not allow speaking in the target language. The bilingual method allows a controlled use of the native language, while the direct method avoids it. The direct method focuses only on writing, while the bilingual method focuses on speaking. The bilingual method is more focused on translation than the grammar translation method. So these are the options. You read these options very carefully and choose the right one. Now you move on to other questions. 12th question. Which teaching method is most similar to the bilingual method? What is that method that is similar to the bilingual method? Here are 4 options given. Grammar translation method, direct method, communicative language teaching, CLT, audio lingual method. You know that very well. Okay, now you move on to the 13th question. The bilingual method is best suited for whom? Yes, who is this bilingual method suited for? So that means students who want to learn through pure immersion, students who need grammar explanations in their native language, students who do not want to use their native language at all, students who prefer learning only through listening and repetition. So these are the 4 questions. You know the right one and you can choose that. And you go to the 14th question. Unlike the audio lingual method, the bilingual method, what is that? Focuses on repetition and drills, uses native language explanations when necessary, avoids teaching grammar altogether, uses memorization as the primary learning technique. You go to the 15th question. Which modern approach? Which modern approach has been influenced by the bilingual method? Total physical response TPR, content and language integrated learning, CLIL, task based language teaching, TBLT, the silent way. These are the 4 options. Let me tell you one thing. So don't call it content. Most of you are pronouncing the word as content. So English content, Telugu content, some content. Content means some matter to be studied. So you are pronouncing this word as content. It is not content, please. It is content. Remember that. Content means satisfied. I am very much content with what I have. నాకున్న దాంతో నేను సంతృప్తి చెంది ఉన్నాను. కంటెంట్ అంటే సంతృప్తి చెంది ఉండుట. కాంటెంట్ అంటే నేర్చుకోవాల్సినటువంటి పాఠ్యాంశాలు, మ్యాటర్, the lessons and so on. That is called content. This is called content. So okay, because I'm giving you some additional information, because most of you are saying that content. That has become a habitual thing for you, and that's why I'm warning not to pronounce this word as content, but it is content. So here, content and language integrated learning. Clear? Okay, so okay. Now you move on to other questions. 4th topic, strengths and weaknesses of the bilingual method. So on the strengths and weaknesses, that means on the advantages and disadvantages of the bilingual method also, some questions are posed here. Let us look at all of them. Okay, 16th question. One of the major advantage of the bilingual method is, what is the major advantage of the bilingual method? Here are the 4 options given. It encourages students to learn grammar first. It speeds up comprehension through limited use of the native language. It completely eliminates the need for the native language. It focuses mainly on translation exercises. You know the answer pretty well, and therefore you can easily choose the right one. Now you move on to the 17th question. What is a major disadvantage of the bilingual method? What is the major disadvantage? What is the advantage? You know very well. What is the disadvantage? Also you should know. What is that? Yes, it completely ignores grammar. It requires teachers to be fluent in both L1 and L2. It does not allow students to speak in the target language. It is too focused on reading and writing. So what is the right one? You know that very well. You can please choose that. You move on to the 18th question. Why is the bilingual method difficult to use in multilingual classrooms? So in the classroom where there are multilingual students are there, this method is not that easy to be adopted. It becomes somewhat difficult because not one lingual students are there in that classroom, but there are multilingual students are there. speaking Urdu, Hindi, Tamil, Kannada, Telugu. These are all called multilingual students. Okay, so in the classroom in which there are multilingual students, this bilingual method cannot be adopted very easily. It becomes very difficult to be adopted, right? And here, why is it so? Means here some reasons are given. It does not allow the use of the native language. Students may speak different native languages, making it hard to use L1. It requires students to have advanced writing skills. It does not help in learning pronunciation. So these are the options. You know the right one, you can choose it. Now you move on to the last set of questions, right? 19th question. Which of the following is a possible issue with the bilingual method? Which of the following is a possible issue? What is the probable issue with the bilingual method? You know very well. Students may rely too much on their native language. It does not help with comprehension. It completely avoids teaching pronunciation. It prevents students from speaking fluently. So one of them is the right one. You choose that and you move on to the last question of this small exercise. What is that? 20th one. The biggest challenge for teachers using the bilingual method is? So what is the biggest challenge for the teachers who are adopting this bilingual method? That is, here it is mentioned, avoiding the native language completely, balancing the use of L1 while ensuring maximum use of L2, explaining grammar rules in both languages, providing only written exercises. What is the biggest challenge, biggest hurdle, biggest stumbling block for the teachers that adopt this bilingual method in their classrooms? Okay, that you know very well. And from these four options, you can easily choose it. And with this, this small exercise will come to an end. Now, let us look at the answers for all these questions. Okay, these are the answers for the questions from 1 to 10. Okay, right. These are the answers for the questions from 11th question to 20th question. So these are all the answers. And with this, this small video will come to an end. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hello, dear DSC candidates. Thank you so much for watching this beautiful video. And if you have any problem in understanding any of the aspects that I have taught you in this video, please make a mention of it in the comment section. And I'm ready to answer all your doubts and problems. Okay, with Dr. West's method, I shall be back to you. Until then, bye. See you, all of you. Right.